Hey ladies and gentlemen, Ralph's Automotive. I got something new to me today. Entirely new to me, don't know anything about it other than the research that I did. And I'm going to play with this. Obviously we're not going to go to a customer's vehicle and try to do anything with it. And what we have here is not failure to communicate, but get you in here. Okay, yeah, that's what we got. So I went ahead and got the starter kit NVH for the Pico, and the reason I opted to go with starter kit, I've had the other tool that's a Smart Ear 2, and I normally would never talk bad about any tools or anything like that, but it's a piece of junk, and it absolutely does not work, period. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and step into the Pico instead. And what I did is, as I said, I ordered the starter kit. You get the one interface module, of course your accelerometer here, and you get that. You got your cables here and starter guide and all that good stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to play with my truck. I know I got a tire in the front that is that needs to be balanced, and I'm going to play with that, but I still got to get this unit here married. These will have to be married to the scope that you're using it on, and it will only work on that scope that it's married to. And from what I understand, it's also non-transferable. You know, hoping that if something happens to the scope, that of course Pico will do something, you know, to help you out. But the other thing, that in case this does not pan out, you know, and doesn't work as I think it will, what I did is also went ahead and ordered the optical sensor. And the optical sensor is going to allow me to do drive shaft balancing and all that good stuff. So we're gonna probably play with that as well. Get you get some measuring tape with it that goes on the drive shaft. You know, when you do your thing. And I know that we have to have some hose clamps and all that good stuff, which I should have here. Not a problem there. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get these units married up, and I'm gonna plug everything in together, and I will go through the settings with you and explain what I know about it. There's not much, but you know, we're going to step through there and see if we can get anything out of this unit. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of I don't want to say use common sense, because that wouldn't be the right word, but use a little bit of logic, trying to actually pinpoint what tire is actually bad, or see if we can pinpoint what tire needs to be balanced on my truck, because I know which one needs to be balanced, but we're going to see if we can pinpoint that, looking at some numbers. It might be a little bit drawn out video, so everybody that is going to look for something real quick, it's not going to be real quick. I've never used one of them units before. You know, I'm gonna let's all learn together is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the scope out, get that all plugged in. You have to plug both units in, I think, to get that married up, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that and continue from there. Okay, so I've got the unit married up. The interface is right there, and we're down there on the seat rail with there's a hole in the front of the sensor pointing forward. And what I'm doing is I have an Elm 327, but somehow or another that's not working, so I went ahead and got the Autel out from the Maxi Flash, and it's a J device. Where's my Pico Diagnostics? Right there. I'm going to go to Pico Diagnostics. I might have to change glasses so I don't have to stretch my neck. Yeah, computer stuff is great, but bad eyes kind of sucks, but whatever. Not complaining. Change these glasses over. Alright, hey, I can see a little bit better now. We're gonna go to NVH. Sorry about the shaking. And here in a minute, it should detect. You see a red X right now. By default, it's sitting on diagnostics for the RPM input. The J2534 is selected. Right now it's saying device not connected, but I know it picked it up a while ago when I've tried it to make sure it's working. So that should connect. I can't go any further with this. I don't know if the wizard might prevent it from connecting. I closed the wizard out earlier and it connected, so maybe we'll just go ahead and go through the interface. And the mode that I got set is for 3-axis. You have options for additional interfaces, and that's what I was talking about earlier, that eventually I might get more interfaces if this works satisfactory to me. I wouldn't be opposed to getting more of the interfaces to make it a complete set, but for right now all I got is one. So it's set to 3-axis, and of course X, Y, and Z all selected, and our location is the passenger compartment. So let's start a new test. Diagnostic is J2534. So we're going to use that, and we're going to hit next, maybe. Okay, there it says Maxi Flash. Okay, it's connected. Read the VIN already. So here it's asking for the number of cylinders. I'm in a Chevrolet pickup, 8-cylinder, and it's a V-top configuration. This is a 4-wheel drive pickup. I forgot, I'm in the wizard mode. So rear differential ratio, $343. You have to get that information out of your book somewhere. So using the same value for both tires, it's asking us to put values in here. So this is a 20-inch, and it's a 55 ratio. And these tires here are 275, 55/20. We're going to use a 3-channel interface, the TA143 accelerometer, Connect accelerometer to channel A, B, and C of the Pico scope. That's already done. This is already done. And here we have the option to finish this. And I want to switch over now to the GoPro because this is too hard to do it with this here. And I will go to the GoPro and start recording when we're getting up to speed. I'm going to have to go to the highway. I don't know how good the recording is going to be, so bear with me. We're going to go through there when we get back. Yep, wind noise you're going to have to just tolerate. Well, it's actually not the wind, it's the blower motor. We went from 70 degrees to almost 90 degrees again, so it's a bit hot outside. Well, not hot yet, but it's sure getting warm. So right now I'm on the way to the interstate, and I know that I'm gonna back up on this. I know that it's going to start shaking right around 70, 75, 78 miles an hour. I guess somewhere around that area. It's the worst right now. I don't have no shaking. I can't feel anything, but it will shake as soon as I hit the highway. So bear with me. I'll be right there, and I'll have to hit the record button. I think there is a limit to how much this thing records. Well, I think I know there is. Don't remember what it was, but anyway, I don't want to use up all that time, so I have enough time to make a trip down and back up and be able to record all of it. So I'm about to hit the interstate here. I'm fixing to start recording. I'm going to try I hope this works out with the GoPro, and I'm going to reach over here and hit the start recording. Of course, unfortunately, that is also a GoPro command, and I keep turning the GoPro off when I say the words about the you know what. So anyway, there you go, you have it. And I'm at 75 mile an hour, and this is where the shaking is the worst. Undoubtedly, it is shaking like crazy now. Get on the other side of the road here. The road is pretty bad in these parts, so it's not helping matters none. So reduce the speed down to about, right now I'm doing about 72 or so, and it's almost gone. I can feel some, but not a lot. Okay, going back up 75. So I'm gonna cut the video right here, and I want to tell you something about it. Mistakes were made. Some of them I made. Some of them just a problem. I'm not going to spoil it. I made several more trips down the interstate. You know, that's about the only spot right there that I can really pick up speed and get the vibration at its worst. But anyway, if you want to get to the point where I'll explain what actually happened and what I have learned, just stay tuned for the video and kind of watch the whole thing. It's not that terribly long, but anyway, I'm going to cut the video right here, and
we'll pick back up with the explanation of what happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I need to share this with you. I've had quite a bit of aggravation with this NVH setup. I got close to the point where I wanted to just send it back and just forget about it, but we've got some things ironed out, and I am going to go through here with you guys. I wanted to share this with you in case somebody ever runs into that same problem, so you don't get upset for no reason. So, first off, when you're recording, when you're going down the road and you're recording your data, the time here in the window that you see is all you're gonna get. So you can't go make a test drive, record the whole thing, and then stop the recording and think you're gonna be scrolling backwards and forward. It's not happening. What you see in the window is what you're gonna get. Now, there is a way around that. In the software, if you're in the NVH itself, just like I am right now, I pulled up my last file that I did, my last saved file. I pulled it up. If you if you go to the options, go to advanced options, and we go to features. There is on the first checkbox is not checked by default. It is enable advanced features. Now, when you do this, I'm going to close out of here. If we go to the setup, if you see in the setup window, there is no mention here of time at all. It be in this general area here. So now we go options, advanced options, features, enable advanced features, and hit OK. Now watch what happens. Okay, so now we have the option of, it says signal options, maximum signal history size. So now we have an option to set this to any number up to 500. So 500 seconds, that would give you 8 minutes of recording time. There is, however, a problem with that. This screen here, and this information I got from Pico support themselves, this screen that you see here is going to be your 8 minutes. So everything is so compressed that I don't believe you're going to get the details you need to find a problem. And that would be depending on what you're doing, I'm sure. They confirmed that, sort of, kind of. It was vague, but anyway, just food for thought. I figured I'd share that. Now, one of the worst problems that I've had with the software, and for that I'm going to load another file if I can find it. Okay, so I'm loading this file right here, okay? I'm trying to think. It's not that I don't know what I want to do. I don't know which direction I want to head first. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm gonna talk about this here first. So first, let's talk about this. So I was making all these test drives, trying to get data, and really none of it was showing up right, it didn't make no sense. The whole thing didn't make no sense. Setup was correct. I verified my setup. And this is over here in the vehicle information. I verified and make sure that these values are correct, which they are. My truck's four-wheel drive truck, 8-cylinder V8, 3.42 differential ratio, and 275/55/20 tires. Tire correction factor should have been default should be at 1.03. I do not know. It's really vague in the description of what that tire correction factor actually does. So leave it at 1.03, which is a default. And so I was looking at the information that was showing in the screen, and by God, it did not make sense at all to me. I'm like, okay, at this point in time, I'm getting upset because ain't no telling how many test drives I done did going down the interstate, coming back up the interstate, just to see the vibration, because the vibration that I've got is 77, 75 to 85, I guess, really, to be honest. That's when it's worse. So I wanted to see this on the screen, but I could not see this. So this was actually yesterday that I did this, and it finally occurred to me to have a closer look. So down here where you have your start recording, your gear, your miles per hour, and you got your play buttons, fast forward, whatever. And then here off to the right, we have the RPM and we have the miles per hour. Now, it did not dawn on me yesterday at all. I've noticed the label, but I kind of thought, well, I don't know what's going on right there. I just didn't know, because I've never messed with this. So, guys, take a look over here. I don't know if you can see it in the video. Well, yeah, you can. When I edit it, I will zoom into that, so bear with me. I'm going to zoom in over here in this spot. But this is actually telling us I'm running at 1951 RPM, but look at the mileage, the miles per hour. 125 miles per hour. I'm sorry. Impossible. Not in my truck. At 1900 engine RPM, you're not going to run 125 miles an hour. Not on a good day. So, this I've noticed. But what I did not know is down here, when I connect it to my M327, this here would start out at MPH, and all of a sudden, it would switch to kilometers per hour. So the input is actually saying miles per hour, but it actually used kilometers per hour. So really what I was doing, I should have been doing 125 kilometers per hour here. Should have been 77 miles an hour, 75, 77, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this is the reason the software cannot show us what is actually going on. It has no way of calculating, because it was thinking I was running at 125 miles an hour, which would make which would skew the frequency so much that it would be impossible to make any kind of accurate calculation. So, moving forward with that, so I finally figured that out. I called tech support, called Pico tech support. I was emailing him as well. Also called our friends over there at AES Wave and talked to Scott over there. And we finally come up with the idea of why not go ahead and uninstall and reinstall. So I did that, because we were sitting out in the truck earlier. I had him on the phone, and right in front of my eyes, after it was already connected, it changed from MPH to KMH. I mean, it literally, I caught it with my eyes, I seen it myself. It just switched for whatever reason. It made the input go to kilometers instead of miles. So after we caught this was while me and him were talking. After we caught it, we went on and looked at some settings, and that didn't fix the problem, because there's some default settings up here in case somebody else watches this and they scream, well, go to the file menu and the preferences. No, guys, that's not it. It was actually set to US, Fahrenheit, PSI, and miles per hour. That was not the problem. So we come to the conclusion, let's try an uninstall and a reinstall. And if that don't work, he provided me with a link to an older version of software, and he said, worst case scenario, try that before you give up. So I said to myself, well, if I'm going to go ahead and uninstall and reinstall, I might as well do it with the latest software, like I had already. So I did that, and lo and behold, like I said, it fixed this problem. And the other problem is, for whatever reason, and that's what I was going to do a while ago, but I didn't do it right away. But for whatever reason, my default startup, when you go to the filters, as it did here, it had a low pass enabled. So with this low pass enabled also, we were unable to see, right there you can see it on the screen, we were unable to see anything in the E's, the P's. We couldn't see anything. The only thing I seen was a T1. So we finally figured out that my default startup in my software enables a low pass filter, and even I have even hit the reset button, and that did not fix the problem either. So still, right now, when I close the program, open the program, by default, the Pico diagnostic will enable a low pass filter. We don't want that. Okay, I figured I share this with you guys. Not a big deal. I know it's doing it. I can turn it off in a matter of a second. Not a big deal. But I just wanted everybody to be aware that this is happening. So in this file right here, this thing here that I saved, you can see miles per hour. It says 125. So now I'm going to load up the other one. You see the graphs over here, what they're showing. So let's go ahead and load the other file, the most recent file that I have. So now let's look at the same thing. Okay, we can already see the difference. Now it's actually showing what's actually happening. But when we scroll through here, now it's showing 1700 RPM, 67 miles an hour. It's showing 1775, 70 mile an hour. Or you make a broader spectrum, by you select this blue area here. This is the spectrum. This is what it's showing up here. 72 miles an hour at 1845 RPM. Now that part is working, and it's actually showing us what is going on here. So guys, I hope you liked the video. I wanted to share this with you. Sorry that turned out so long. I wasn't really aiming for it to be that long, but it's just something that I found, and if that helps somebody, hey, great. If you don't think that's interesting enough, just turn it off, I guess. Guys, thank you for watching.